Camera.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon.
Welcome po sa DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, Payawing Gubat Sorsogon. Today is December 10, 2025. Scheduled for today's pre-bid conference is for the contract 25FL0124 with contract name Repair Rehabilitation of Classrooms at Gubat National High School, Gubat Sorsogon, and Gabao Elementary School, Irosin Sorsogon, Cluster 2, Gubat Sorsogon, and Irosin Sorsogon. And 25FL0128, construction of Sipaya Bridge, Juban, Sorsogon. Present here today for today's pre-bid conference are the following: Levi Pura Jr., Back Chairman.
Present.
Dave Villalmilla, Back Vice Chairman. Present po. Erwin S. Encinares, Back Member.
Present.
Joanna C. Calagos, Back Member.
Present.
Chloe F. Valeros, Back Member.
Present.
Glenn Elidio, Back Secretariat.
Present.
Abby Rodriguez, Planning Representative.
Present.
Courtney G. Folieros from Construction Section.
Present.
Baby Ling Bo from MJB Construction and Supply, Liaison Officer. Mr. Chair, for today's pre-bid conference, meron na po tayo po.
Since we have quorum, this pre-bid conference is now called to order. The agenda for this pre-bid meeting are as follows: basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. Summary proceedings including bid bulletins to be issued, and questions, comments from the bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Courtney Folieros.
For the basic contract data, the contract ID is 25FL0124 with contract name Repair Rehabilitation of Classrooms at Gubat National High School, Gubat Sorsogon, and Gabao Elementary School, Irosin Sorsogon, Cluster 2. The contract location is at Gubat Sorsogon and Irosin Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract or ABC is 35,088,018 pesos and 11 centavos. The brief description is repair rehabilitation of 20 classrooms at Gubat National High School, Gubat Sorsogon, and repair rehabilitation of 16 classrooms at Gabao Elementary School, Irosin Sorsogon, with a contract duration of 234 calendar days and a predetermined unworkable days of 29 calendar days. The source of fund is FY 2025 General Appropriations Act or GAA under the Basic Educational Facilities Fund or BEFF, Repair of Classrooms Batch 1. The major category of work is BIR or Buildings Repair. The cost of bidding documents is 25,000. The date of receipt of bids is December 23, 2025 until 10 a.m. and the date of opening of bids is immediately after closing receipt of bids at December 23, 2025, 10 a.m. The scope of works are the following: repair rehabilitation of 20 classrooms at Gubat National High School, Gubat Sorsogon, including repair of ceiling, roofing, and electrical wirings, repainting of buildings, construction of PWD ramps, replacement of lighting fixtures, doors, windows, ceiling fan and downspout, and installation of grills and tiles. Next is repair or rehabilitation of 16 classrooms at Gabao Elementary School, Irosin Sorsogon, including construction of wall, ceiling, roofing, trusses, repainting of buildings, replacement of windows, lighting fixtures, doors, gutter, downspout, and electrical wirings, and construction of drainage with a dimension of 1.2 meters by 1 with 66 meters length. This is the vicinity map and site development plan for Gubat National High School. These are the geotag photos taken during the validation of the project. This is the perspective and the detailed engineering plan. This is also the vicinity map and site development map for Gabao Elementary School. Also, the geotag photos taken during the validation. the perspective, and the detailed engineering plans.
So,
And to discuss the basic contract data for contract ID number 25FL128 is Engineer Abby Rodriguez.
Basic contract data 25FL0128 contract name construction of Sipaya Bridge, Juban, Sorsogon. Contract location, Juban, Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract for ABC is 99 million pesos. Source of fund, GAA 2025. Contract duration, 300 calendar days. Predetermined unworkable number of days, 86 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 50,000 pesos. Submission of bids is scheduled on or before December 23, 2025 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids, December 23, 2025, immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work, the code is BCCCP. Here's the sample of geotag photos for the construction of Sipaya Bridge at Juban, Sorsogon. Here's the sample of environmental clearance, the geomechanics or material testing or analysis final report for the construction of Sipaya Bridge. And here's the sample of the borehole test. The plans and specification for the construction of Sipaya Bridge at Juban, Sorsogon. Here's the location of the plan, the soil profile, the sample of a straight line diagram, and other details of the plan. And here's the sample of bill of quantities, bid data sheet. These are all downloadable from DPWH website or FieldJobs website.
for the minimum equipment requirement and for the manpower requirement, please download na lang po sa ating bid data sheet and sa ating instruction to bidders for the details. The criteria for award to be adopted by this procuring entity for the two contracts are that will be used with the lowest calculated responsive bid or the LCRB. The amount of the advance payment is 15% of the total contract price to be made in lump sum. All progress payments shall be first charged against the advance payment until the latter has been fully exhausted at the option of the procuring entity. The contractor shall submit the program of work to the procuring entity within 10 days of delivery from the notice of award. The amount to be withheld for late submission of updated program of work is 49,500 pesos only. Reserve nila po para sa ating contract. Sinusunod po natin ang two-envelope system where the eligibility and technical documents is enclosed in one envelope and the financial proposal is also enclosed in another envelope, all enclosed in the isang mother envelope. Bid validity is 120 calendar days from the receipt of opening, from the date of opening of bids. Yan po ang ating serial markings. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient back, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date, time of the opening of bids. Ganyan din po para sa copy. Yung original and copy 1 shall be enclosed in the mother envelope. Each envelope shall contain the name of the contract to bid, name and address of the procuring entity, recipient back, and the markings do not open before the date or time of opening of bids. Unsealed, unmarked bid and not compressed and password protected shall not be accepted. Improperly sealed and marked bid, improperly compressed and password protected shall be accepted. However, the bidder shall acknowledge the bids as accepted by the bank. Meron po tayong electronic submission of bids. Yan po ay through For submission of and receipt of bids, modification of bids before the deadline of submission of bids. Bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid. However, they shall submit a new bid equally sealed, properly identified, and linked to its original bid and marked as a modification. For letter of withdrawals, must be received prior to the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn, the interval between the deadline and expiration of bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic bid submission, bidders shall send another bid equally secured, properly identified, and labeled as modification of the one previously submitted. The date, time indicated in the latest bid receipt page generated shall be the official time of submission of bids. Meron po tayong two modes of submission of bids. Yan for manual submission of bids and electronic submission of bids. For manual submission of bids, yan po ay sa Box Secretary of Office, DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, DO, Barangay Payawin, Gubat, Sorsogon. For electronic bids naman po, yan po sa electronic_bids_sorsogon2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Requirements of bidding documents. Ang mga documents kung ito ay naka-post po sa aming DPWH websites and sa PDFs to aid our contractors in preparation of the bids. Ang mga documents po niyan ay instruction to bidders, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, bid data sheet, specifications, drawings, yan na po yung mga plans as discussed earlier, bill of quantities, and sample forms. Eligibility criteria. To be eligible to participate in the bidding descent contract, a bidder must be a duly licensed Filipino citizen for sole proprietorship, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and in which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and in which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, or persons, entities, forming themselves into a joint venture as per section 52.4.2.1 of RA 12009. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects when provided or under any treaty or international or executive agreement as provided in section 4 of Republic Act 12009. Bidders must have a valid PCAM license, must have a single largest completed contract that is similar to the contract to be bid, at least 50% of the ABC. The single largest completed contract shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner or other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or similar performance and monitoring system. Contractors under small A and small B categories without similar experience, provided the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the ARCC of registration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC. Eligibility and technical documents to be submitted by the bidders. We encourage our bidders to enroll in the civil work application to facilitate the fast evaluation of their eligibility. However, if they have not yet enrolled in the CWA, these are the documents they have to submit. Class A legal documents, PhilJab certificate of registration, mayor's permit, TTI, tax clearance, PCAB license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, statement of single largest completed contract, computation of the NFCC, valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Bid security in a form of cash or manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee, 2%, surety bond callable upon demand, 5%, or you can submit the bid securing declaration. Please be guided po ng ating GPPB Resolution number 16, 2020 sa format po ng ating bid securing declaration. Project requirements, organizational chart for the contract we bid, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' major equipment units owned or leased or under purchase agreement. Included na po dyan dapat ang kanilang laboratory equipments. Omnibus sworn statement, duly notarized. Please be guided po ulit ng ating GBPB Resolution number 16, 2020 sa format po ng ating Omnibus Sworn Statement. Yan po ang ating checklist. Legal eligibility requirements. Submission of BIR receipt for renewal of tax clearance will not suffice in view of valid tax clearance requirements. submission of provisionary tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not acceptable form of tax clearance. So dapat po talaga may updated po kayong tax clearance. Statement of the bidder of all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to bid. The statement shall include all information required in the bidding documents. Yan po ang sample ng ating bid securing declaration. Meron na po pala tayong panibagong omnibus as provided po sa ating 12009. This shall include clauses in the signatory of duly authorized representative, bidder is not blacklisted, authenticity of documents, verification authority, signatories authority, complies with disclosure provisions, complies with existing labor laws and standards, complies with responsibilities of bidders, non-payment directly or indirectly any commission, an amount of fee, or any form of consideration in relation to the procurement, project, or activity. In case of advance payment was made or given, failure to perform or deliver any of the obligations and undertakings in the contract shall be sufficient grounds to constitute criminal liability under 16 laws. Or ano kaya lang sample? For second envelope po, ang lamanan po ng ating second envelope, bid form, summary bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimate including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment, cash flow by quarter, month, and payment schedule, other documents required in the bidding documents. For detailed evaluation of bid, ang purpose po yan is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices in the bids, ranking calculated total of bid prices from lowest to highest. The method, a non-discretionary criterion shall be used, which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. The results shall be contained in the abstract of bids. For detailed evaluation of bid, in case of discrepancies between the bid prices in figures and bid price in words, the bid price in words shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the items times the quantity, the unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. The actual sum of unit prices of component items versus the total stated price, the actual sum of unit prices of component items shall prevail. The unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities, the unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Reminders po sa ating mga bidders of the no-contract rule, provision of communication with bidders from the evaluation of bid until the award of contract. Purpose qualification, ang purpose po nito is determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents, to be declared as the lowest calculated and responsive bid. Ang method po natin is a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion which shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated bid. Thank you.
Meron lang po tayong additional dito sa project requirements. Kasi meron ng mandatory submission of the following documents. Yung latest general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporations. At yung pangalawa, sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership following the template attached as Annex A for all bidders including sole proprietorship. So this should be included sa technical documents. Although kasama po siya dito sa bid data sheet, hindi lang dyan na nalagay. So paano lang po? So ang pa yung clarifications.
Ini dapat ang slide na ano. Ini po. Common discuss lang po natin sa ating mga bidders and common reasons for bidders disqualification. First po, state submission of bids without valid reason, submission of patently insufficient bids, submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System or PhilJEPS registration, platinum membership, failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm and curriculum vitae. Dapat po, included po yan sa ating key personnel. Failure to submit bid form. Minsan po, ang sinasabi kasi na bid form, hindi po conforming sa ating sample form. May ginagamit po sila lumang bid form. Please update po ang inyong mga files. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to non-inclusion or omission of mandatory provisions and statement for the required bid forms. Submission of the bid form, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, joint venture agreement without name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Minsan po, pirma lang. Wala pong nakasulat kung sino po yung nakapirma. Nomination of key personnel for the profession different from what is required by the bidding documents. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order number 9 series of 2012. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment. Failure to submit proof of ownership. Ito parati ito. Lease or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. Kung meron po tayong list of equipment pledged the contract, dapat po supported po yan ng ating proof of ownership ng mga equipments nila. Either LTO po na nakapangalan sa firm or yung deed of sale na nabili po ng firm natin o ng ating sole proprietor owner. Insufficient NFCC, insufficient statement of single largest completed contract. Yan lang po.
So, meron po mga clarifications. Wala na. Since we have no more matters to discuss, this pre-bid conference is now adjourned.